Developers had big plans for Burj Al Babas. Construction began in 2014, and the goal was to create a $200 million resort town near picturesque Modernu. Unfortunately, only 530 of the 732 planned mansions were built, and none of them were completely finished. The interiors of the mansions that were built are empty, and some are now in such bad shape that they are starting to fall apart. The mansions that are still standing are nothing more than husks. Burj Al Babas is even creepier than most ghost towns because all of the mansions were designed in an unsettling Gothic style. The blue-gray steeples and balconies that adorn the mansions make them look like miniature Disney castles, and that's what they could have been if they were completed. Each mansion was supposed to sell for between $400,000 and $500,000. The mansions were supposed to have luxurious interior features like vaulted ceilings, ornate plasterwork, and parquet flooring. There were plans for each mansion to have a sweeping spiral staircase leading to the upper level and rooftop terrace. Developers planned to cater to wealthy oil and gas executives, and some of the mansions were even sold. However, financial problems quickly arose and the buyers backed out. Burj Al Babas was going to be more than just mansions. There were plans for a sprawling leisure complex with neoclassical styling in the center of the resort. Residents would have had access to boutiques, restaurants, cinemas, children's play areas, conference halls, fitness centers, luxury shops, and meeting rooms inside the complex. Burj Al Babas sits above a geothermal spring, so it's not surprising developers planned to make good use of this resource. The complex's aquapark was going to be filled with Turkish baths, saunas, and steam rooms. The water was even going to be used to heat the complex. After a nice dip, residents would have been able to have some fun on the water slide or shoot some hoops at one of the many basketball courts. Speaking of sports, there were also plans for tennis courts and soccer pitches. So, what went wrong? Well, pretty much everything all at once. Developers managed to sell 350 of the mansions, but the sales fell through when the price of oil tanked. It's hard to sell a mansion to an oil tycoon when he has less disposable income. Economic collapse and real estate crisis in Turkey made finding new buyers and investors practically impossible. Add to that, political turmoil and a declining Turkish lira, and you have a recipe for disaster. Burj Al Babas was built for foreign buyers, and they just weren't interested. Developer Sarat Group soon racked up $27 million in debt and faced a court-ordered bankruptcy ruling. In 2019, they filed for bankruptcy and abandoned Burj Al Babas completely. No other developer has stepped in to finish the project, and the mansions continue to crumble every day. Throughout the entire ordeal, many locals were quite upset that they didn't hesitate to voice their concerns. They felt that Burj Al Babas would be a blight on the beautiful landscape surrounding Modernu, and it turns out they were right. After all, this is a potential UNESCO World Heritage Site, but a creepy ghost town really complicates things. Officials might think twice about awarding Modernu the historic honor. Here's a final fact. Did you know that there's another ghost town just south of Turkey, on the land of Cyprus? Varosha was once a luxurious resort. It was called the French Riviera of Cyprus, but it became a ghost town after it was invaded by Turkish forces. Today, the five-star hotels are crumbling. For years, people were forbidden from visiting the ghost town, but the beaches reopened last year, and tourists are now allowed back in. That's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in today and watching our video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. It helps us out here a lot. We'll see you next time, right here on The Richest.